everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be another wedding video. Even though my wedding obviously has already passed, I wanted to kind of continue this series by doing a whole kind of recap summary video of things that we did for the wedding. So obviously in preparation for my wedding, I had a few videos go up on this channel relating to it, but like I said, this is just going to be kind of a recap of everything and some things I obviously didn't want to show or talk about, so I'm going to sit down and go through everything today. I'm going to go through the list of basically the timeline I followed with planning my wedding, which I already had a whole separate video about that, kind of what order I was doing things. But now I'm going to go through that basically again and show the things we ended up doing for each of those things. I have a feeling this might be a pretty long video, so I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. So we got married on February 19th, 2022, so it's been a few months that we've been married, and our wedding day was just perfect. It was literally everything I ever dreamed of. You obviously always have those nerves going into it, thinking something's going to go wrong or things won't go exactly how you planned. But really everything came together perfectly. That might have been thanks to every moment of my life spent planning and dedicated to this wedding, but it paid off. It was the best day ever. I wish I could relive it again because it was just amazing, and I'm so thankful for everyone that helped us and helped put it together. Essentially, I remember we booked our venues probably fall of 2020. So a little over a year out, because we got engaged in August of 2020 and got married a year and a half later. I think it was exactly that. So before the year mark, that was one thing that we did, was pick out our venues. That's the first thing you're going to want to start with. So we toured a few different places. We knew we wanted to get married in a church, at least for our ceremony space. So we only looked at one place, and that is the Harborside Chapel. That is where we had our ceremony, and it was absolutely beautiful. My mom actually recommended it. She saw it somewhere, and then we went to go visit it, and we didn't even have to look anywhere else. It's perfect. It's bright and airy. The church built the chapel itself specifically for weddings, and I think they said they interviewed brides and photographers and anybody to kind of get their input for it to be just like the perfect place, and that's exactly what it was. It was beautiful. It still gave you the feeling of being in church while also more like a tailored, aesthetically pleasing space, which we loved. All throughout this video I'm going to be inserting clips, pictures, videos, whatever I can to kind of show the things I'm talking about. So as you can see, it was beautiful for pictures, having the windows letting so much bright light in, and it was just beautiful. Every part of the building and the space was amazing. I feel like I'm gonna miss so many things, and there's so many things to talk about, but I'm gonna try and stick to the big points. So like I said, those are a few highlights of the chapel, and since this is just a ceremony space, they do like a grand exit out of your ceremony, which I thought was amazing and super unique. So we didn't really have a big reception exit. We basically did that at the ceremony, but it was beautiful. Everyone lined the sides of the walkway outside of the church, and we had little ribbon wands that everyone picked up. So they kind of sent us off that way, and they have like a little roundabout cul-de-sac thing. So we had our getaway car, which was a Porsche, which I'll get into later on the list. We were able to have that at the end and just exit our ceremony, and they were ringing the church bells, and it was just amazing. It's actually located in Safety Harbor, so we were obviously looking in the Tampa and St. Pete kind of areas. So it was a little bit further out, but for such a perfect venue, it was definitely worth it. And then when it came to our reception places, we definitely were considering more hotel, restaurant kind of vibe. There were a couple multi-purpose kind of just event spaces that we looked at, and actually I think one of our top two or three was the River Center, the Tampa River Center, which is just basically a big room that overlooks the water in Tampa, but we would have had to do a lot to it, and if you don't know, we ended up having a reception at the Birchwood in St. Pete. So that was definitely a better option, I think, because they had a lot of things included. The catering is obviously through their restaurant there, so we kind of got restaurant, hotel, all in one. And having it there was just amazing. The area was perfect, so it was kind of a little bit away from home, which is Tampa. So St. Pete, I feel like, gave a different kind of vibe, and now every time we're going over there, we think about our wedding, and it's just really special. So the Birchwood was amazing. I mean, the ballroom itself is just perfect. You don't really have to do any decorating. It's already beautiful. The finishes, the lighting, the chandeliers. We totally fell in love with it based on the ones we looked at. And I do have a video of all the other spaces we toured. That included the Renaissance, which is right next door, the Vinoy. It had a very nice ballroom, but still nothing really compared to the Birchwood. There was a couple hotels in Tampa, the Rusty Pelican for kind of like a restaurant option, which I always highly considered that one, but comparing that with the Birchwood, we just really fell in love with the whole idea of that more. So it was beautiful. We got to take pictures kind of down in the park area across the street, and then of course the ballroom itself is so pretty. They have balconies off the reception space, and you basically get that whole floor to yourself, which was amazing. And like I said, food was included. Their food is incredible. People kept telling us it's the best wedding food they've ever had. I'd have to agree. I wish I could go back and eat my meal because it was so good. Again, I can go more into that later down the list, but that was essentially the first thing we did, is book our venues, and we couldn't have been happier with them. 12 months out, we asked our bridal party to be in the wedding. So this was February of 2021. We wanted to get that process going. Our bridal party was mostly family, just because my family is huge and we're of course so close to them, so we wouldn't have had it any other way. My sister was my matron of honor, and then I had my 2 cousins. I had my 2 roommates from college, my high school best friend, my college best friend, and John's sister. So I had 8 bridesmaids and John had 7 groomsmen. Now our brother-in-law was his best man, my sister's husband, and then his sister's husband, 2 of my cousins, and 3 of his friends. So we definitely had a larger bridal party, but it was so great having them involved. And what we did to ask them is I just did like a normal kind of bridal box. And that box had a wine glass with their monogram on it, a little card, of course, that said like, will you be my bridesmaid or matron of honor? I think I put some bath things and a candle and just kind of made it look all cute with like floral petals. Of course I'll put a picture here. And for John's guys, we took cigars and I printed like custom little labels that basically says like groomsmen and their name. I think it said their name. And he gave those to them, so that was really cool. And I think they enjoyed that. Also, a year out, we booked our photographer and videographer. This is something that I obviously looked really hard into because it's so important to me. So our photographer was Karin Maria Photography. She is based in Tampa and she's absolutely amazing. I think I found her on Instagram, and then once I saw her work, I like fell in love. She's definitely has the same kind of editing style that I like, and she was just so fun to work with. We did our engagement shoot with her too, and she was just awesome. Literally, our wedding pictures are amazing and I look at them all the time, and I couldn't be happier with how they turned out. Our videographer was actually, I think he's based out of Miami, but I think when I booked him, he was kind of in the process of moving or something. So he actually didn't give us any travel fees or anything, which was awesome. I still can barely say his name. Fernando Perepechkin, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'll have everyone's like Instagrams and stuff below. So shout out to him as well, because our wedding video, well, we've only gotten our teaser so far. It's like a 1-minute trailer, but it is stunning. It's beautiful. His videos are like cinematic masterpieces. It's amazing. I love the kind of like dramatic, classy vibes they have. So his work was so incredible, and of course video is also really important. So couldn't be happier with how he documented our day. So in April of 2021, we took our engagement pictures. Like I just said, we did it in Fort DeSoto, I think. So did them on the beach. I wore like a white dress. We wanted to actually get in the water, so that was really fun. We got some cute shots doing that. And also 10 months out, we booked our DJ. We went through Grant Hemond, and the DJ that we got was actually recommended to me by someone at my work. We used James King if you're in the Tampa area, and he's actually done a few of our events at my job, so that's kind of where the connection was. But he was awesome. They're kind of like a standard DJ company, I think, in the area, so I'm sure anyone you get would do awesome. He was really cool to work with. He connected with us kind of right before the wedding and got all the songs we were planning for our bridal party, and he just made it super fun. I felt like I was never really paying attention to what was playing, which was a good thing, because I thought that that would be like super, I'd like want certain songs to play, but he just got everything right and I didn't even have to worry about it, and it was a blast. In that month, I also think we went ahead and booked our florist. So our florist and our day of coordinator was actually together in one. Her business is Beyond Floral, and she actually did my sister's wedding back in 2016. So that's where we knew her from, and she did awesome both times. So she did an awesome job at bringing our vision to life. My mom and I kind of do our own like planning and picking out the stuff, designing, but she's able to kind of, we give her exactly what we wanted and she was able to bring it and put it together on that day, which was amazing. So we knew we didn't need like a full wedding planner, so having the day of coordinator was just perfect to kind of put all of those things out for us and make it beautiful. And of course her florals that she did for us were amazing. I wanted all white flowers, especially with the bouquets. I wanted all white roses. So that was absolutely perfect. I loved my bouquet, the like long stems. I knew that's what I wanted. And basically the bridesmaids were just like a smaller version of that, but they actually were like way bigger than I even expected. So to have such nice quality florals was amazing. Same thing for like boutonnieres, corsages. We did like a big white rose, and then she also did arrangements of course in our reception. So we kind of mixed, I think, other white flowers with it, just because all white roses for those big table arrangements would have been a lot. So kind of having that mix was really pretty. And this month we also booked our quartet, like strings for the ceremony. The artists were called Dillard Magic, and I think we used them also for my sister's wedding. So they played strings during her ceremony and we used them again for mine. I always pictured having strings playing throughout the ceremony, so it really was amazing. We also picked out what songs we're going to be playing throughout the ceremony. So for the parents and grandparents walking through, we used a song called The Water is Wide. I'm not sure exactly like the original artist. I think it's like an old classical song. It's actually really sweet because my mom used to like sing that to me when I was little, and we were kind of racking our brains of like what to do for that song, and we kind of had a running list, and I think she suggested looking up like a strings rendition of it, and it was just beautiful and fact that it has like sentimental meaning was really perfect. So we had that going for the parents. Bridal Party walked into From This Moment by Shania Twain. This is one of my all-time favorite songs, and I always pictured it being incorporated in my wedding in some way. So I thought it was just really fitting and really pretty. I can't wait to like get our ceremony footage back so I can like listen to it and watch the whole thing. Because I was obviously like back in the room, so I couldn't really tell what was going on. And I walked down to Canon and D. I wanted something really classic, and again, I always pictured this. My sister also walked down to it. So definitely something that I had no questions about. I wanted to walk down to Canon and D no matter what. So they really made that perfect, and just I can remember that moment. By having that live music just really made a difference. Our exit was to Love Story by Taylor Swift, and I never really thought I would do something like this. As much as I love her, I never really pictured it in my wedding. But once we listened to it, I don't know, it was like a cute thing, and then hearing it over the strings made it a little bit fancier, and it's not like right away you knew what it was, but then people would like pick up on it, and it was just kind of upbeat and really cute for us to walk out to, so that was really fun. We made our wedding website and registry at this time through the Knot, so that made it really simple to have it all in one place. I was able to kind of design it based on like a template they already had, which was still really pretty and minimal in what I was looking for. So we added in like pictures of us from our engagement shoot and just details about the wedding. We were able to link like multiple registries to it, so we registered at Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Crate & Barrel. And I did a whole video not too long ago about what we put on our registry, so go ahead and check that out. And from here we added that like web address to our save the dates when we sent them out in like the next month, I think. Before that, we finalized our guest list in this kind of same time. So we got it down to I think 200 people total, which was the max amount that the Birchwood could hold. So we were actually kind of over that, and we had to dwindle everything down, and we didn't want to go over the maximum. Even knowing that like not everyone would come, we just wanted to be safe than sorry. So I think we invited exactly 200 people. But after that, I chose my wedding dress, which was about 9 months out, and I got my dress from Cece's Boutique in Tampa. I had always heard great things about them, so it is actually the only place I went. It was the first dress appointment I went to, and I tried on 7 dresses, and my 7th dress was my dress. So I actually left because it was right at the end of my appointment. And we went and had lunch, and then we went back for it because we kind of like sat and thought about it, and I just loved it, and I didn't want to even bother with looking anywhere else, which is crazy because I'm so indecisive. I thought that would have taken me months and going a million different places, but I was like, I love it. It's already what I'm looking for. Like, why not get it now? So we went and did that. My dress is the Georgetta by Kitty Chen. It was perfect, exactly what I was envisioning. I was really in between either having like really simple, no lace, kind of like a satin material, thin strap, very plain, or I wanted to go the total opposite direction, and I wanted long sleeve, full lace, long train, and that's obviously what I went with. So I tried on a couple Kitty Chens because I knew that was kind of her style, but this one was definitely just the best. I have a video of trying on all the other wedding dresses if you kind of want to see the other ones that I looked at, but this kind of gave the perfect in-between where the sleeves were really patchy, and I kind of had lace overlaid, but it still kind of had the mesh illusion, and of course super long train. So I think the color was technically like ivory or khaki. There was like an underlay, so they have a couple options for that. But I was obsessed with it, and I wish I could wear it again already. It's my dream dress, and I was scared that I was going to get sick of it, picking it out somewhat early, but I loved it until that day, and I still do. I wrote that I was supposed to do this 8 months out, but I think I did it a lot closer to the day, and that's book my hair and makeup. Again, this was the same artist for my sister's wedding, so fortunately I had a lot of recommendations from her, and I was able to see how people did things. So I used D2 & Co. If you're from Tampa, her name's Dee Dee, and she's amazing. I think she also does like the Bucks cheerleaders makeup, and she's actually from kind of near my hometown, so we had like mutual friends and connections. She's awesome. I really wanted to be able to trust the person that did my makeup. I was very close to wanting to do it myself, but I knew that I probably wouldn't want to do that day of. I'd be freaking out. So she did amazing. I did my trial with her, and it was exactly what I wanted. I just wanted, of course, like a warm, smoky look for my makeup, and it was perfect, and I decided on like Hollywood waves. I, of course, went in between doing an updo or down, and I settled on down, but I really love that look because it's a little more classy and sleek and pulled back while still being down. So I feel like a little bit different than I usually do, but definitely just added something to it, and it was perfect because I also felt like myself and most comfortable with my hair down. And then she also did almost all of my bridesmaids and my mom and John's mom. From there, I started really getting into planning my wedding decor, so everything from the beginning of the ceremony to the end of the reception. We outlined every table, everything that we might need. I'm going to be reading kind of off a list here just to kind of give you a rundown of like basic things that we planned for. For the ceremony, we had a welcome sign, and on our guest book table we had, of course, the guest book with a pen. a vase there with like a white floral arrangement. We actually put an anthropology candle on that table because I love the volcano candle, and then the iridescent kind of glass really matched with the stuff, kind of mixed metals. So we used that and it was really pretty. We printed our programs and put them there with a tray. We also had like a small sign with a Bible verse that we cricketed. A lot of Cricut projects went into this, including the welcome sign, if I put a picture of that. But that was really fun. I mean, doing design, it was really exciting to get to do all those things. So I did our invitations from start to finish, the save the dates, the menus, anything printed, I got to basically do myself. In our ceremony, and I actually just made a TikTok about this, we had 2 large silk arrangements on our stage that my mom made. So she's super crafty. She's really good at like DIYs, floral arrangements specifically. So we found these glass vases, I think from like Home Goods, and then she was able to craft and create 2 white floral arrangements for our stage. We just thought this was a good place to kind of cut costs because of course no one's gonna be right up with the flowers. So it was a perfect way to kind of swap out for faux flowers, and they still looked beautiful and exactly what we were wanting. We also got our unity candle for the ceremony, and we cricketed our initials, I think, on that. The birchwood, we had our seating chart, and also on our card table we had like the card box, which we actually just found like a paper box and cut like a hole through it, and we kind of finished it with like nice white ribbon, which actually worked out really well. We had a little cards and gifts sign with that, as well as like votive candles. Our cocktail table arrangements were really pretty. We took like large, like wide kind of glass cylinders and put a thinner cylinder vase in it. And the surrounding part had white flower petals, and then we put a candle in the center of the middle glass. So it kind of illuminated it, of course, and then had the flowers around it, kind of like a double layer looking thing, which was really pretty. What we did is combine round tables and long banquet tables for our reception, and pretty much all the decor was flowers and candles. That's like all I really wanted, just a ton of candles everywhere, and that's exactly what we got, and it was beautiful and exactly what I pictured. So basically everywhere we had sets of 3 cylinder vases with pillar candles inside of them. So based on the table, like some were shorter than others, but we kind of had those scattered everywhere with the floral arrangements in between. Our cake table was one of my favorite parts of the wedding. I also made a TikTok about this. What we did is we elevated a piece of glass on the cake table and filled the underneath with like lit up LED like floral pieces. So again, it kind of illuminated that, and you hold the glass up with like candlesticks. So that really gave a fun look to our cake table. Also stole an idea from my sister's wedding. And our sweetheart table, the same thing. We kind of just had candles, florals. We did get a specialty linen for that table. It was kind of like a metallic cream off-white color, so not super out there, but kind of gave it a nice finish. And our toasting flutes, I think I should have a picture of these. I love them. I think we found them at Home Goods, and they were very affordable, but they're totally classy looking. They just look like crystal, and we drank out of them all night, so it was really cute to even like have to hold throughout the day. Stationery items that we needed were our programs, menus, table cards, and rehearsal dinner invitations. So like I said, I was able to make all of those myself, and we actually used a printer called Cards and Pockets. So they were really, really awesome. They had a million paper samples and swatches to choose from, so you can really customize it and make it exactly how you want. And this was one place that we found where we were able to upload our own artwork. A lot of places that like design, they have like preset designs. But since I was making them from scratch, I wanted a place where I could just upload my art and have them printed really high quality. So this was an online place that we used, and I think the shipping maybe took like a week or so. So really cool to work with them, and everything was actually really affordable. So our save the dates were on kind of a metallic off-white paper, really high quality like I said, and I did just like a simple design for those. I pretty much tried to mimic the same kind of simplicity in all the designs. And for those, we actually included a printed out picture from our engagement pictures. The programs, like I said, were also really simple. We just had that on like a heavy white cardstock. Our menus, we pulled in the same metallic that we used for the save the dates. What we did for our name cards was basically a little tab like on the top of them with their name, which I thought was really simple and pretty. And our rehearsal dinner invites, we did on I think like a cream color with a gray envelope. Our full invitations were exactly what I pictured. We wanted to do kind of like a paper sleeve over the main invite. So all of the cardstock was white, and we had like accents of cream for the envelope, for the RSVP envelope and the sleeve, like I said. So everything turned out really simple and pretty. The colors were all kind of just neutrals, like whites, creams, taupe, gray, black and white. So we really pulled that in through all the print materials. Oh, I forgot about the bridal shower invites. I actually sent those out, of course, in September, because my shower was in November. So again, we kind of just did this more simple design that I had on all the other print materials, but made it a little more fun and had some greenery on it since it was kind of the theme of my shower. In July, we got our bridal party attire kind of all squared away. So the bridesmaids dresses were actually from JJ's house, so I wanted to keep it really affordable, and they still had the perfect style that I was looking for. I wanted something that would kind of flatter everybody, and I definitely wanted to do like a taupe neutral color. So I'll put a picture of the dresses. The cut was just really nice. It was kind of like a V-neck with kind of the back did almost the same thing. And just a really pretty chiffon tulle kind of material. And the guys were in tuxes from Men's Wearhouse. I have the name of the actual tux. It was the Calvin Klein black satin edge notch lapel tuxedo. So that's exactly kind of what it had. Like almost the edge of it was like a satin finish. So really classy. I knew I wanted it to be simple, and John loved the tuxedo thing too. Instead of them having different flowers, all of the guys wore ties and John had a bow tie. So that was kind of his differentiation. I thought that was a really good idea to kind of have him stand out but still look really uniform with everybody else. We also did cake tasting around this time, and our cake actually was from Publix, so that was like the best money saver ever. Everywhere I was getting quotes from were like thousands of dollars for how many people we needed to feed. And literally Publix cake is our favorite, so I think our cake total was like $500, and we just wanted something really simple and white. They were able to add like their own gum flowers to it. Originally, I wanted something a little more custom, kind of those wispy like attachments to the cake, but they could have do something super intricate like that. But we were able to pick out flowers that kind of went really well with it, and it turned out perfect. The cake itself, we knew we wanted buttercream frosting because that's our favorite from Publix, and the whole cake was yellow cake. And every other tier was a different filling. So the two fillings were fudge and chantilly cream, so kind of getting a vanilla and a chocolate. And that was a perfect way to kind of give variety without like changing each like tier completely. So both of them were really great. I put this for August, but we actually didn't do this until November, and that was getting our wedding bands, but it worked out perfect. We actually got them on Black Friday at Helzberg, so we kind of got to deal with it. Essentially, we just got a computer with our rings, so John got a new laptop. That was kind of like their deal. So that worked out. Figured I might as well go ahead and show my band here. So my ring is obviously white gold, but I really wanted to mix the metals and pull in yellow gold, so I was pretty sad on having a yellow gold band. And of course, this still has a little bit of sparkle and diamond all around. I believe it's called a channel set. So I really love the look of them together. It's kind of exactly what I was picturing. So don't be afraid to mix metals because this turned out perfect. John's actually working in the other room right now, so he doesn't have his wedding ring on. But this is his band. It's basically just brushed white gold. So we really wanted something that was a little bit different. This was kind of more simple and sleek than others because I feel like most men's bands have like a notch or like beveled kind of edge. But this was completely sleek all the way around, and he loves it. He thought about getting yellow gold for a second, but this is more him, and it's really nice. At this point, we also created the song list that we ended up giving to DJ for the reception. So we entered it to Suit and Tie by Justin Timberlake. We just thought it was kind of classy and fun. Our first dance was Turning Page by Sleeping at Last. Totally a Twilight moment, but it's funny because we both actually love Twilight, and it's just a really pretty song. I've always loved it. So it was something we kind of always listened to together, and it was really pretty. Me and my dad danced to Cinderella by Stephen Curtis Chapman. This is a song I always pictured being me and my dad's song, especially for my wedding. I just grew up listening to it, and it's always been kind of my song with him. John and his mom danced to Simple Man by Leonard Skinner, which she picked out, and I thought it was perfect. It was really, really sweet. Our cake cutting song was Dangerously by Charlie Puth. It's actually funny, this was just a song that we loved back in high school. It was like 2016 or something, his whole album we always listened to. And this was just a song that really brings me back to that, so it was kind of fun to break up the reception with. I tossed my bouquet to Glamorous by Fergie. No explanation needed. And for the garter toss, I think we did another Justin Timberlake song. Yeah, Rock Your Body. Again, we just both love Justin Timberlake and kind of more classy. We did our tasting in October before the wedding. Picked out all of our appetizers, entrees, and kind of mixed. What was great about the Birchwood is they gave you a ton of options for that. We were able to mix and match a lot of their like entrees with sides, so it was really customizable. So everything that we love the most, we were able to create meals out of. Again, I'm kind of reading off a list. So our past appetizers were a focaccia pizzette. I probably can't say any of this, but that's bruschetta, essentially. A barbacoa taquito, which was really yummy. Lobster BLT, goldfish fritter, and a guava empanada. Our salad that we had was a fork and knife Caesar. And our entrees, we had 3 entrees, which was breaded chicken scallopini, mahi-mahi, and a beef short rib. The chicken is the best thing on this planet. That's what I want to go back and have again because it was so good. And with that, we did green beans and baked mac and cheese. The mahi had garden roasted vegetables and fingerling potatoes. And the short rib had grilled asparagus and truffle Yukon whipped potatoes, which was also pretty much my favorite thing. I had them customize mine to have the mashed potatoes with mine because I wanted to like switch. So the food, 10 out of 10. In September, we booked our honeymoon. We stayed in the Dominican Republic at the Excellence El Carmen all-inclusive resort. We pretty much knew we wanted to do an all-inclusive and go somewhere tropical. So we kind of looked around at some options between there, Mexico, Jamaica. There were a couple different places we were looking at. Just somewhere tropical, we didn't really care. And this was definitely the best place and the best value. I definitely shopped around for things and this just included a lot. And we got like the best kind of like highest honeymoon suite kind of deal for the best value here. So our room was amazing. It was right on the water. It was like a 2-story suite. So we had our own private pool, a hot tub, jacuzzi kind of thing. All the rooms have like an outdoor like bed kind of looking out over the beach, so it was perfect. This was like closest we could get to the water while also having like our private pool areas. A lot of other places you were like kind of sharing a swim up pool for even paying more money, so definitely recommend this place. The food was amazing, the people were amazing. We want to go back so bad already. Every day we're like, oh my gosh, don't you wish we could be at this restaurant or this place. So our honeymoon was perfect. We got our rehearsal dinner kind of organized around this time, and we ended up having it at Bridal Italian Grill in Tampa. So it was really nice there. They had a whole like private room that we basically were able to have the dinner there, and they had waiters dedicated to us, and it was really nice and private, and we love Italian food, so couldn't go wrong with that. We picked out flower girl and ring bearer attire. The girls' dresses actually came from David's Bridal. I saw them when I first picked out my dress. We were kind of wasting time in between, and we went and just looked around there, and they were the cutest little flower girl dresses. They have a big like satin bow on the back, and I was like, oh, well, maybe later when we're looking for dresses I can like find something similar. And we ended up just going back to those, and they got the exact ones. So they looked adorable. And I think Taylor, my sister, just got Caden, who is the ring bearer, my nephew, just a regular black and white suit. Like I said, our getaway car was a Porsche. I can't remember the exact name, but it was super nice to have. We just wanted like an all black or white car. So this ended up being what we found. We did think we were gonna maybe do a convertible, but we ended up finding this was like a nicer car, even though it wasn't convertible. So it was perfect. This was more John's thing, of course, because he's obsessed with cars. So he got to kind of head this up and pick out something for him, and I know it was one of his favorite parts. For our gifts, for our bridal party, parents, all of that, it took me kind of a little bit to organize all of this and make sure it was just exactly what we wanted to give everybody. So this was one of the more last minute things, but we still got it together for the day of, obviously, to give it to them. So for my bridesmaids, I gave them a robe, earrings, a makeup bag, and a little tote. And for John's guys, we gave them a nice like toiletry bag, a bottle opener that said groomsmen. It was like engraved on it. And an insulated metal koozie. We gave our moms picture frames with collages of like me and my mom growing up, and then him and his mom. We made 2 different picture frames just of pictures from us from then to now, which was really sweet. And then we got our dad kind of different things. So for his dad, he got a pocket knife, and I think we were able to customize it. And it said, for all the skills and tools you've given me, something along those lines. So really sweet and personal to give to him. And I loved what I got my dad. It was a guitar pick that basically had a picture of me and him printed on it from when I was a baby, and he was like holding me, showing me how to play guitar. And on the flip side, it said like, I'll always pick you. And that was really sweet, and of course really personal to my dad and how he was a musician and taught me pretty much everything I know. So those were perfect for our gifts to give to our parents. And our favors for the guests, we actually did a little Ferrero Rocher, I think that's how you say it, the little chocolates that wrapped in like gold paper. We put them in little gift boxes. We actually found these on Amazon, and each one was for the individual place settings. We also printed little labels with our monogram that we put on those. In November, I finalized my accessories, so I think I got my earrings. Those were cheap. I think I got them on JJ's house because I didn't really care to spend that much on the jewelry. I did splurge on my wedding perfume. So I did get a Louis Vuitton perfume, and it was amazing. It was like my wedding day scent, but I'm still wearing it today. It was the Le Jour Se Leve. I'll put the name of it here. And John got a Giorgio Armani cologne. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the gifts we gave each other. So I got John a watch to wear on that day. It was a Fossil watch, kind of like a sleek dark gray finish. And he took my great-grandma's diamond that almost was going to be my engagement ring, and he put it in a necklace because I didn't really want a round diamond for my ring. So we had a pendant on a chain for me, and that was a necklace that I wore on my wedding day, so super special and beautiful. Other than that, just my shoes were Antonia Milani. I think I found them at Dillard, so also pretty affordable. I started out with one pair of shoes, and then I switched them because I realized I wanted white satin instead of like a nude satin, which is what I originally had. And they were just like a simple one strap, which the other ones were more kind of strappy all over. So I really like the simplicity of the ones that I actually used. The last few months leading up, so now I'm in like the November, December, January, we basically just met with our coordinators and all the meetings we had to have at each venue. I scheduled my nail, hair, and spray tan appointments. So that was pretty much everything on the list of things that I planned for the wedding and how it all came together, all the things we picked. So it was really fun to sit down and kind of go through everything again and show you guys our final things. Like I said, our wedding day was a dream. I wish I could go back and do it again. Everything was perfect and all the months of planning really paid off. So hopefully this gave you some inspiration in certain categories, or it was just entertaining to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.